double checking I have everything. Ready to go. Alright, we're good. Okay. Twisted Karma and his last bow. Is it the last bow of Karma, or is it a character that's gonna fuck off out of nowhere?
Pipe in hand, Sholmes looked down at the thick, rolling fog outside our window. I wonder exactly how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed of fog, he said. Indeed, a most bizarre incident, born of a curious advertisement. A hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of a serial murder, an executed man's graveyard resurrection in the dead of night. And a commonplace killing in a small, forgotten room at the edge of town. There is, naturally, always another side to every case, of which most remain ignorant. And it is that other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow. For our adventure is not over yet. Come, the game is afoot.
Oh. Well, that led to absolutely no hints as to what was going to happen. 8 days after that earth-shattering trial and Cosima regaining his memory, we were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel. Ooh, fancy. Professor Mikatoba is due to arrive at any moment. Yes! I'm so glad we got here in time. Susato-san hasn't been the same since what happened. Fair? Not that I'm surprised. Exactly! Fair! The truth about Kazuma-sama's father. Do you suppose my father knew? That he was actually the masked murderer of the professor, you mean? I knew that's what she was thinking about. There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, they did come here to London together 16 years ago, didn't they? Yes, that's true. Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikatoba knew about Kazuma going missing in Hong Kong as well? That's right, but for some reason he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it. Probably means he knows then about Kazuma showing up here in London with amnesia, and that he's regained his memory now. Ah, there she is! Hi, hello. Oh, Father! Hello, Susato! How are you? I'm very well, thank you. We're delighted you've arrived safe and sound. Hello, Mr. Naruhodo. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here. Oh, no, not at all. It's my pleasure. We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the seas. It has? I always look forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with the steamships from Britain. Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is this man? And why do I feel as though I've seen him before? Hat really does make a man, huh? I take it from your expression that you can't quite place me. In that case, how about a little reminder, Seishiro? A firm tap should do it. Yes. A firm tap? What? Out comes the gavel! Here we go, then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, guilty! Hey! Rude. Mean to me. Ah! Oh! You're... Hat really does make the man. Doesn't it? Also, probably the angle. Because, like, he's, like, up on the bench. Most of the time we see him. Your Excellency! Hello, Judge Jikoku. How are you? It's been a long time. Ha! Ha 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 ha! Good, you've remembered now. That really did the trick. What? Crazy. Guilty. Ha 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 ha. Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there was no laughing at the time. So, London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I never thought I'd be back. Neither did I. I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international symposium like this. Well, see, there's the key word, international. What is Japan? It is a nation. Oh, really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Seishiro? What are you talking about, Eugene? Ha 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 ha. Of course, Judge Jigoku. He must complete the set. He's the other man who, 16 years ago, came to London with Kazuma's father and Professor Mikotoba. He's the third visiting scholar. Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? Ah, I knew you were jealous. Ha 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 ha. Sorry? Ministerial status? Yes, didn't you know? Seishiro here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. Okay, that feels like presiding over my trial was kind of a conflict of interest, but you know, whatever. It was his personal insistence that allowed you to take Kazuma's place here on this study tour. Guilty as charged. When you're not like super official, you're a menace, aren't you? Oh, well, thank you very much. He's really every bit as important as he looks. Ah, yes, now, Naruhodo. I received a telegram from Lord Strongheart yesterday. Oh, you did? It appears that some things came to light in a trial you were involved with 8 days ago. About what happened 10 years ago. That tragedy. Yes. Could you tell us any more about it? My eye is itchy. I'm sorry. Converse. Your journey. So, how was the voyage here? You gotta get the pleasantries out of the way, right? Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standards. But it wasn't as bad as when we first came 16 years ago. That's true. Then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience. So you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris? We did, yes, though only for one night. And yesterday evening we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover. Just in time for the symposium, in fact. It starts tomorrow. It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father. It's thanks to Cicero here. 16 years ago he managed to ingratiate himself with Britain's Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited. And I suppose you could say I'm something of an appendage by default. Speak for yourself, Eugene. You were close friends with the professor of forensic science at a major hospital. Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really. No. There's been a lot of water under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back. Cosimo's father, I suppose. Boop boop. The professor. The killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy. Was actually Cosimo's father, wasn't he? That's correct. Genshin Asogi. Genshin. You knew, I presume, Father. Yes, he was a close friend at the time. Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard. I've never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous acts. It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth, and he was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland. But what about Cosima? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father? No, of course not. He was told his father passed from sickness. However, I suspect he may have had his doubts. Oh? Why? As you know, I tried to guide Cosima growing up, as if he were my own son. Then one day he came to my office at the university and said, "I've decided. I want to travel to Great Britain and study there." Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death? I don't know. But when I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I'd be able to stop him. I mean, given what he did to the wax sculpture of the professor at the end of the last... I don't think he wanted to investigate his father's death. I think he wanted to see if the man was really dead and then kill him himself. Almost. Something else came to light in that trial the other day, actually. Oh, what? Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Cosmo's since turned up here in London, working as the apprentice of Lord Van Zykes. Ooh! Knocked the feet out from under him. What? What? That's news to us! Uh-oh. I have a feeling Lord Strongheart has a scheme cooking. Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part then. Kazuma's reappearance. Let's go. As you know, we both thought Kazuma had died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January. But he didn't die. He's alive. As you knew, didn't you, father? In actual fact, no. What I did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished. We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try to ascertain what had happened, but no avail. But he's still alive. And here in London, you say. I never dared to even dream it. Why on earth did the young man not make contact? You see, he got knocked a little silly on the steamship. And amnesia's a funny thing. The government and police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now. Well, it seems he was suffering from amnesia. What? Amnesia? When we first came across him again here in London, he didn't know who either of us were. I see. He only regained his memory 8 days ago. This is unbelievable. Yes, it's quite miraculous. Wonder why Lord Strongheart didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently. Wonder how Kazuma's been these past few days. Would it be wrong of us to go and visit him? Anyway, let's have a chat with this. That began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really. It was Eugene here, Genshin Usogi, and myself. We were the original three. The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study. Ocean voyages were not what they are today, I can tell you. 16 years ago, things were tough for their generation. Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at Yume University at the time, you know, young lady. Yes, grandmother told me. He went to do research at a great London hospital to study autopsy. Practically unheard of in Japan. It was an eerie place, sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground. Ugh, no more talk of graves. Very often, there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy work. So you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons. Not my cup of tea at all. Well, you're a lawyer, you don't have to worry about that. You get a piece of paper afterward that says... You get a piece of paper afterwards that says, oh, this is how they died, and this is the time. And then you don't have to worry about the actual dead body. Do you remember that Scottish prison governor? Caden, his name was. He was a good man. I probably pronounced that wrong. That's probably... I'm sticking with Caden. Yes, but then, of course, in our 6th year here, everything changed with that dreadful case, when Genshin was arrested for a series of the most gruesome murders. I simply couldn't believe it. I'd known the man for years. I was a witness at the secret hearing, and I tried to speak in his defense, but you went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you? Well, suffice to say that after that trial, we were sent back to Japan. And I will say that because of that, I think Van Zykes has a pretty reasonable reason to hate Japanese people because his brother was. Anyway, there was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly. Oof. Oh, poor Susato. She's so sensitive. Well, if you'll excuse us now. I'd like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible. Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here for so long. I'll call for the porter then. Just wait here. Susato-san's gone off at a run. I'd like to stay and talk more, but I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow. Yes, of course, it must be a big responsibility representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck. Naruhodo, I hope you'll keep an eye on Susato for me. Keep looking after her as you obviously have been. Oh, no, I mean, if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me. Well, I do appreciate you being there for her. After all, I've been a miserable father to her. I've thoroughly let her down. Sorry? What do you mean? Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour here in Britain, as you know. The very year Susato was born. Yes, I heard. The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but... well, sadly it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too. Oh, yes. Susato-san hinted at something like that. Well, I mean, if she was raised by her grandmother, I think I can understand what the most tragic event was. And I kind of understand him wanting to, like, run away from that almost. It was a rather turbulent time at home. Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. The point is, I became rather less dependable than befits a grown man. It was then that Seishiro offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain. Are we good? We return? Are we back? It's the first time that's happened in a while. I completely understand, Professor. Ah, one other thing, Naruhodo. Yes, sir? What's vibes, my guy? If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you. Oh, really? Of course, what can I do for you? Well, the thing is, I'm so sorry that took so long. Sato! You're interrupting things! Rude. Miss Susato. Now then, allow us to take your bags. Allow me to take your bags. You look familiar. Anyway, one moment if you please, Porter. Of course, sir. That machine around your neck. It's a camera, I believe. Quite right, sir. Just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir. Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense. Ah, yes, of course! Yay, a picture. I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruhodo. It's really made Father very happy, I think. Well, there's a situation afoot, apparently. Oh, well, I'm pleased then. But we were interrupted before. We were... And I wanted to know. Professor Mikotoba was about to ask me something. Shall we return to Baker Street then? I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us. Yes, let's go. Getting more and more anxious about Kazuma, though. Perhaps I'll try to meet with Lord Strongheart later and ask after him. A new location has been added. Suppose let's ask after Kazuma then. Because I'm fairly sure that's the new location that had been added. Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I've supplemented your original with the figures you asked for from the yard. I see. Excellent work. Thank you. You're welcome, my lord. What's Lord Van Zyke's doing here? My, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say? This place is stifling enough as it is. We really don't need any more tension. Hi, hello. Sorry. My apologies, I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress make you all but invisible to me. Well, at least you're honest about it. Oh, no, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure. From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here. Now then, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord? I'm right here. You are also a little silly. Anyway. Awkward silence. Kill me now. Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you. Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature. You're so awkward. If you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise. That's nerves. Probably. Because of the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly. As you're no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. Sip of my drink. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madam. Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited. I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands then, Lord Van Zykes. I will attend at once. Oh, he gave me a look. He gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he? I know, but I haven't done anything. Have I? These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion. Ah. Sorry. Ah. Sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still of service? It's a turn of phrase. Mr. Naruhodo! He's talking about Dr. Scythe. Ah! Of course. Terribly sorry about that. I was just, Fear not. You've done nothing wrong. Dr. Scythe's own wrongdoing precipitated the situations. Words, they're hard. You needn't concern yourself with it any further. That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me. Lord Van Zykes is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. Though, disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday. Oh, missing. What's become of Kazuma-sama now? Figured. The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques. I'm still going, right? Nothing broke. Are we good? I keep blipping. No. So apparently today's just a bad day to stream or something. I don't know what the problem is. So I'm actually going to... I will be back. I'm gonna just mess with a few things. And I'm actually going to stop the stream for a little bit while I do that. And then hopefully the internet will be functional. So, I will return in a little bit. I promise you all, I will be back. But for like 10 to 20 minutes I won't be streaming. Okay. I'm sorry. Alright. We are going to hope that it works better now. I'm sorry that took a little longer than I said it was going to. But I poked and prodded at everything that could be poked and prodded at. So, we are going to hope and pray that everything is functional. And I'm going to at least attempt to make it to the to be continued. Alright. We good? We got visual, we got audio. Everything's fine? Or at least as fine as it can be? Hopefully. In the 20th century, we'll see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques. Awesome! We're good! And cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential. Which is why this landmark first symposium had to be hosted here at the heart of our great British Empire. In order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World. He's the same as ever, I see. That passion of his is quite something. You're every bit as passionate in your own way, I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo. Can we stop it with the mind reading? I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. So the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. It's not your fault. Alright, sure, talk to me about the investigation team. I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Scythe at the helm, it was steadily accruing an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department. And can you not do that now? Obviously. Nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I'd say. Unintended repercussions of our trial. Terrible. We simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened, though. Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Oh, I have a feeling he's not grateful. Or at least not as grateful as he claims to be. It appears the answer to my problems was in fact IT 101. So restarting it seems to be much smoother now. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way. Good old IT 101. Turn it off and back on again. About Lord Van Zyke's apprentice. Yes, that came as a surprise to me, I must say, that you and he are old friends. How did he become an apprentice to Lord Van Zyke's in the first place? It came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel. Oh my! So he stowed away to get here. Like I did. He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. Other than the fact he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zyke's. That way I could keep an eye on him. But then, why the mask? I didn't want to burden Lord Van Zyke's with tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern apprentice. Because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask. He's proving to be a great help to Lord Van Zykes. I have high hopes for him and for his future. Indeed. By the way, do you know where he's gone? No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being. Oh. I take it you also didn't know. That's why we were asking. That the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean. Genshin Asogi. Yeah, we had no idea. What we learned from that trial 8 days ago was a huge shock, finding out my friend's father was... Ah yes, Genshin Asogi. Professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain. They were such awful murders, and unprecedented, using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon. And no one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government. So the true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then, and can't be made public now. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London. The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time, I understand. Very important. Correct. However, has to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause. Supporters of a mass murderer. The majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. Or so a fair few thinkers in London believed anyway. Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? It seems very similar, doesn't it? To the idea of the Reaper of the Bailey. Well, I suppose that's all we had to talk about. Let's go say hi to Iris. What was that? A man screaming? In a most unflattering way. Do you think? Could it have been Mr. Sholmes? Oh my, I do hope not. I don't do it anymore. Mon ami, mon ami. Stop this disgraceful display, eh? Who are these people? Their hair is bright red. I think they must be clients of Mr. Sholmes? Right, you two. You're coming with me now. Down a little clink. No, not in prison. It's dark and damp and I don't like it. It's giving me Italian vibes, I'm sorry. Buff. The darkness, it is my friend. I am not scared. But you are always scared of the dark. Shut your mouth, you idiot. I will sit quietly in the dark and plan our next daring heist. I don't like this. I don't like it. Well, tough. We'll finish this down the yard. Now get moving. Bye then, Ginny. Have fun. Oh yeah, thanks, Iris. And Thanks, you great detective. Gina makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she? Oh, Susie! And Bruno! Hello, Iris. We're home. Alright, we live here. That should not be... Anyway. Well, did you find your daddy? Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Well, that's great news. I hope I'll get to see my daddy again soon. Oh boy. Ah, yes. Of course. Dr. John H. Wilson. So, Iris, all that remains now is the greatest of problems known to man. But before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order, don't you, my dear fellows? Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? Red. Red. Exactly. Why? Do I have a crumb or such like on my face? Not so much on your face as on your head, I'd say. Come along then, everyone. I've brewed a lovely special blend. Time for tea. Whatever is going on here today? In that case, let us sit and drink now. For I am, in fact, expecting a guest later today. Your two visitors, who were they? Mr. Sholmes, who were the two gentlemen that were here before? Oh, just a pair of petty criminals, nothing of significance. Of course, they have to make a living somehow. When the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all manner of infractions. When the mood takes you? All manner of infractions. But when such fellows set their sights on Mr. Herlock Sholmes, well, that's when their luck runs out. Oh my, you were the target of a crime, Mr. Sholmes? But I quickly devised a plan to entrap them and deliver them to our young detective ally. Should have asked Gregsy to come too. We could have had an arresting tea party. I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming. The man is consummately in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. Haha, I have it. A bungler. That's the word. It's a good job he's not here to hear you say that. So those redheads had been up to no good. I wonder what the men did. Something, I'm sure. 1 second. Let's check out this newspaper. Last week's edition. It's that article circled in red ink there. Advertisement column. It says, "To the Red-Headed League." The Red-Headed League? What's that? I don't know. Never heard of it before, but... Is something on my face? Clearly this has something to do with that lively hair. Ooh, yay, newspaper. Was Kazuma here earlier? The mask Kazuma wore when he was assigned to Lord Van Zykes as his apprentice. When he cast it aside after the trial the other day, I just sort of picked it up. We ought to give it back to him, I suppose. But he has his memory back now, doesn't he? I can't help feeling he might turn around and tell me coldly to wear it myself. But isn't he your best friend? Alright, let's chat some more then. What is the greatest problem? What was that about the greatest of problems known to man that you mentioned before? Is it another fiendishly intricate case, Mr. Sholmes? How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perchance? Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere. Possibly. It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago now. According to its author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops. Wait, what? We were apes? Indeed, and from the very moment those apes descended from the canopy to live as humans, it has been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man. Our lot? What is this great problem, Mr. Sholmes? Why, is it not obvious, my dear madam? The problem of rent. Huh. But did you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame Tispels only the other day? Psha, large sum? 1 potted herb for Iris and a new motor car for me later, and all of it has disappeared. Quite disappeared, I think I know why. Honestly, Hurley, you know you squandered it. Yes, well, anyway. 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problem. For the coming month, at least. And what was the answer? Why, there is a substantial clue. Before your very eyes. Tell me, let me see. Humans are sorry creatures, unable to see what is in front of their noses. I assure you, I can see. Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me very closely. There is one particular feature about my person that has changed. You should notice it in the end, I think. I think we just weren't bringing it up to be polite. In the end. It's been stabbing me in both eyes right from the very beginning of our conversation. Weren't bringing it up to be polite. I think we might need another clue before we uncover the full answer, Mr. Naruhodo. Thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if this charade goes on much longer. Does it have anything to do with this? Looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Sholmes. To the Red-Headed League? Does that strike you in some way? I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair. So, at last you've learnt to apply my methods, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? In the first instance, and quite indispensable, observation. Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut. So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits. Regale or boast? So what is the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you've circled? You noticed it in the paper, then? That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment. It was? How? According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair. That doesn't entirely surprise me. Listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week. My, £4 a week. But why? What are they paying people for? That, I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement. Surely every red-headed person in the country would be flocking to join in that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once. Your hair's not red, though. It's more of a pink. So will I. Just on the off chance. That might be stretching a point, I think. Trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, you see. Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can? But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away. Wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mr. Sholmes. So you decided to try to join in his place? Correct. I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow? No. So why did it have to go so wrong? Wait, what on earth happened? A blunder, Mr. Naruhodo. Though it pains me to admit it. What did you do? What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Sholmes? I'm glad you asked, Miss Susato. What you see atop my head is neither dyed nor a hairpiece. I changed the color of my hair overnight by the wonders of chemistry. Chemistry? I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves. And in the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that, when taken, turns one's hair a flame-like red. Would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson. I think I'll pass. But, Mr. Sholmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it? Ah, amateurs are always hampered by such fears. Oh, I never should have doubted you, Mr. Sholmes. You mean to say... But of course. Yes, it does explain why... I did... Yeah, that's not usually, oh, I've got to dye those. And that's usually how you can tell someone has dyed hair. Or that's a tell, at the very least. To earn £4 per week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger. That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely. So anyway, Hurley left full of confidence yesterday with his new red hair. For the park on Lime Street, where the Red-Headed League, they're not a gang, were interviewing prospective new members. So what went wrong? The whole park was choked with red-headed folk, like a coster's orange barrow. What? Excuse me. The hell? Coster is short for costermonger, named for street vendors who sold fruit and vegetables from a handcart or trolley. I still have no idea what. But a Coster's orange barrow is directly from the Sherlock Holmes books, apparently. So, I queued for 8 hours solid before at last I reached the front. When the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?" So naturally, I had no choice but to reply, "Shh, don't give me away." After which I could do little else but turn and leave. And this morning, when I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that pair into the police. Oh dear, what a disaster. For Hurley and those two redheads. Alright, anyway. The lie. Mr. Sholmes, isn't it about time you told us the truth? Just over a week ago you said to us, "I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that." That case aboard the SS Burya in January. Cosmo wasn't killed, and you knew he wasn't dead at the time. So what was really going on? The fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril. Of course, a side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you now know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew. But how? After they'd carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. Then I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship in Hong Kong as a murdered corpse. Oh, horrible. It was necessary to find some material with which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course. But why? Why do it in the first place? I will be at liberty to elaborate in due course. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you. I didn't foresee subsequent events. What events? His disappearance in Hong Kong. I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment. Mr. Sholmes. it's the doorbell. Wow. Aha! Here is my guest now. My latest client. With money to spend. Ooh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Hurley. Remember, Iris, we are at present gripped by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating. Save locating a runaway, of course. Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you? Oh dear, I'm afraid that Hurley can lack a little tact. Especially just before the rent is due. Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Herlock Sholmes, please! Oh, please! Please find my husband! He's run away! To upset me? I beg your pardon? Never mind. A personal matter. My apologies. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruhodo? I didn't say a word. Come, my dear madam, be seated. Iris, some tea, if you please. Of course. What's the matter, Miss Sasato? Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. I feel sure I've seen her somewhere before. Very recently. So now you come to mention it. As I explained earlier, my name is Evie Vigil. I implore you to take the case, sir. Money is no object. Simply name your figure. Money and wealth are of little consequence to me, madam. Being offered a case to solve is reward enough. What about the greatest problem known to man? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you are the picture of benevolence. I will, of course, make a mental note of your offer, however, for contingent reasons. I trust you will remember your words also. If I might inquire, sir. This gentleman and lady would be... Oh, me? What I am about to tell you, I should like to communicate in the strictest confidence, you understand. Ah, these are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me. Ah, I see. I can vouch for the gentleman personally, after all. He's hard of hearing. Why did I ever get my hopes up? I suppose let's chat with her. Forgive me for asking, Mrs. Vigil, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps. Oh my! Psh, my dear fellow, what is your intention? Clearly you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. If you wish to invite the lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion. Is it possible that you're the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week? Ah, I knew I recognized her. To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand. Oh gosh, oh golly, it sends shivers down my spine. I didn't quite recognize her because she's acting so differently now. Which makes sense if her husband's gone missing. It must be very difficult for you as a lawyer, being hard of hearing, I mean. Of course, that's the part she remembers. Pardon? Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. It was frippery, really. Nothing more. Now look what you've started, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you very much. believe it would be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner? Yes. Well, I've got to finish these dialogues, so... Tell us about your husband, madam. Mr. Village, Mr. Village? Vigil? Mr. Vigil, my daily, is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here. An entirely unremarkable gentleman, by appearance at least. How long have you been married? Will be 15 years this year. We have a cordial relationship, and my husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably. As it would appear. I need only look at you to know these things. Oh gosh. Your dress is the latest style, your hat clearly regularly groomed, and your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct? That's right. He's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty, and he rather dotes on me. Which would point to the possibility that he has become embroiled in some incident or other. Oh, that is exactly what I fear must have happened, Mr. Sholmes. I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see. What if he's incurred some miscreant's ill will? What exactly is your husband's line of work? He's a warder at the prison. A guard? That is somewhat unusual. So your husband is a prison warder? That's right, yes. Well, in actual fact, he's the chief warder. Indeed, I see. Well, chief prison warder certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation. Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they're carried out. Dreadful punishments? Does she mean capital punishments? And at such times he must occasionally spend a night or two at the in the prison dormitory. But for that extra responsibility, he is remunerated more handsomely than the other warders. Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors. Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged? Barclay Prison, Mr. Sholmes. Really, Barclay? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there is a large cemetery just behind it. Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery. Cemetery jump scare. Lowgate Cemetery? The very place we were discussing in court. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable, my dear fellow. And yet undeniable. Sorry, Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid you've lost me. Ah, pay no heed, madam. Pay no heed. A private matter. This can't really be a coincidence, can it? It's almost like it's a game. Alright. So, the matter of your husband's disappearance. When did you realize he was missing? Please, try not to laugh. It was yesterday. I'm sorry? Yesterday? It really is recent. Laughably so. The truth is, my husband does at times have occasion to spend the night away for his work. It's not at all out of the ordinary for him not to return home at night, but this is different. For him not to make any contact for a whole day. That has certainly never happened before. Oh, my dear Daly. Daly? Daly, I'm sticking with Daly. Whatever could have happened? My dear Mrs. Vigil, please, calm yourself. No, Daly makes more sense. If you combine it with the last name, Daly makes more sense for the pronunciation. At least considering this is an Ace Attorney game. Now then, have you contacted the police? Why, naturally. But sadly, they refused to listen to my pleas as my husband has only been missing for 1 day. I was asked to wait patiently at home. In truth, Mrs. Vigil, I concur with the police. However, let us not be hasty. I see no reason why we should not engage my deductive powers to track your husband down anyway. Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really all there is to it. You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay any sum you care to mention. You seek only to put this sweet's rent in your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it. Thank you for everything you've shared with us, Mrs. Vigil. I believe I have all the information I need to begin my investigation. Oh, please report to me soon with good news, sir. Fear not, madam. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report, I'm quite sure. Oh, so soon? Oh, how splendid, Mr. Sholmes. Good news should be delivered early, I always say. If you would be so kind as to leave the photograph of your husband in my possession? The photograph of Mr. Vigil has been entered into the court record. Thank you. Now allow me to show you to the door. I can't thank you enough, Mr. Sholmes. You've been simply marvelous. You know, I think it every time, Hurley. But how do you come out with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two. Are you sure? I can't be sure, of course, but then I didn't swear on it. I merely gave the good woman some hope. I hope to be able to give her good news, one might say. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of the day tomorrow. If by that time I've successfully located Mr. Vigil, we shall be mutually relieved. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Don't look at me with those pleading eyes. Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case? Yes, my hearing is surprisingly good, actually. Excellent. And what did you make of it? Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband worked. At Barclay Prison, I mean. Ah, so you noted that. Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery. Now's the time to be dramatic. Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison, so it was renowned among us students at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts. Barclay Prison is where that notorious man was incarcerated. The professor. And now a warder from the prison has mysteriously disappeared, it would seem. It's all very peculiar. Indeed. But nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Run along to the prison and see what you can glean, would you? It's the prison governor you want. No doubt the man is equally worried. But aren't you going to go yourself? Surely you needn't ask. I can't possibly be seen out with this hair. But didn't you go to Lime Street with that hair? That was a quite different matter. So I leave it in your capable hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm rather busy. What, trying to fix your hair? Of course you are. A new location has been added. Woo! Barclay Prison is on the outskirts of London, backing onto a lonely burial ground. Its 4 high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at his clock. That's just... The clock is a guillotine that's sending me. Oh. Okay. This place is full of hardened criminals. I can't remember the last time a civilian was down here. And you didn't want to talk to an inmate, but to me? Do you ken who I am? I'm the governor, Barry Caden. Like I said, daily as a pronunciation goes along very well with vigil. Especially in an Ace Attorney game. Oh, yes, it's a pleasure. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. And an Easterner, I see. Does that mean... Yes, I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan. Japan? Did you say Japan? Yes? Oh, there's not any of your kind in here, laddie. You should try the prison next door, eh? I didn't notice another prison next door, sir. Anyway, we came to ask you some questions about... I didn't like to be so direct, but... I've no intention of speaking with the likes of you, suspicious-looking Easterners. Now get out of my hair. So as soon as he finds out we're from Japan, he reacts like this. Surely means... I think it's because of the professor case. You think so too? 10 years ago, Genshin Isoki, also known as the Professor, was incarcerated at this prison. And then after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison. I might have known. You're sniffing around about that case, aren't you? Well, we're not here about that case. Your agents, eh? Part of the Professor's great web, no doubt. No, not at all. We're just... Get gone with you, before I punch your lights out. We're going. Clearly, the ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not going to get anywhere here. Unless we can somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us. Governor Caden. What are you thinking, Miss Sasato? I feel sure that name came up in conversation recently somewhere. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some ideas to help us. And to think of it, I have the same feeling. You know, if the phrase I don't believe we visited this place for some time comes up, I think that's where I have to go. Professor Mikatoba. It's Professor Mikatoba over there. Ah, hello you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world now that I'm unpacked. But where's Judge Jigoku? Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He's taken himself off to pay his respects to all the legal bigwigs. Having only just arrived in the country today? Goodness, he's full of energy. Professor, you mentioned something before. About how you'd know the prison governor at I can words. Barclay Prison. Oh, Governor Caden, you mean? So it is the same man. Father, we must speak with the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners. Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story. Oh, would you? That would be wonderful. If you have time now. Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment. Busy drinking coffee on a comfortable settee. Now, I have rather a lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know. Oh, sorry. I didn't say that out loud, did I? You Mikatobas are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts. Or could it be that you Naruhodos are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts? Let's not fall out now. I have an idea. What's he writing on that piece of paper? Here's a letter of introduction for you. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune. Ah, thank you. Letter of introduction. I presume I go present that to the guy. To Barry Caden. Good luck then. Alright. Let's find out. Present. Letter of introduction. Ta-da! If you just cast your eyes over this, Governor Caden. What's this then? You can't pull the wool over my eyes, you good-for-nothing Japanese student. Mikatoba. That young jock from the forensics laboratory? That Mikatoba? Yes, exactly. Him! Oh dear. Perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Eugene Mikatoba's daughter, Susato. Jinx, you're the young man's daughter? And you didn't think to mention that afore? I do apologize. Aye, well, you'd best take a seat then. Can I offer you a cup of tea, perhaps? And did I forget to try one of these wee handcuff biscuits? Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing. I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now. So then, what can I do for you, Hen? Well, we're currently investigating a case. It's one of your warders, you see. He's gone missing. Missing? That's right. It's surely been reported to you as well, being the prison governor. Prison governor is just a phrase that is tossing me. I have heard nothing of the sort. There's no missing persons in my prison. Oh, but how can that be? It's Mr. Daily Vigil, your chief warder. Eh? Vigil? That's right. His wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Skip the part about him only going missing yesterday for now. Clearly that means something to him. Would you be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir? Aye, of course. He'll talk to us now. Woohoo! We understand that Mr. Vigil is chief warder here at the prison? Aye, that he was. Strong sense of responsibility and dedicated to the job, no doubt about it. He was a fine warder. Sorry, did you say was? Aye. He doesn't work here no more. He left the job. Oh my. When was this exactly? There's a question. When was it about? Can't have been much less than 10 years ago now. What? 10 years ago. He stopped working here 10 years ago. Aye, as I minded. D'ye ken? I have nae heard the fellow's name on all that time. That's a worry if he's gone missing, though. But Mrs. Vigil made no mention of it. I think perhaps, Mr. Naruhodo, that his wife simply doesn't know. I think she's unaware that he no longer works here. What color's his hair? That's my question. At this moment, I'm connecting dots. Probably dots that have nothing to do with each other, but I'm connecting dots. Governor Caden, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here? That's, important, is it? Yes, I believe it may be. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? Can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago. Ah! Which was exactly when the professor was being held at this prison. 10 years ago is a very important thing. It's like if you're playing Genshin and you hear 500 years ago, huh? So Mr. Vigil actually resigned from the position of chief warder 10 years ago, you're telling us. What happened to make him leave the job? In actual fact, he did not leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter. You mean he was dismissed? It was after a particular walk. Sorry? A walk? Aye. That's our word for it in here. A walk to the gallows. An execution. It's the job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree and oversee any executions, you see. Only, Vigil did something unthinkable on that last walk he was manning. What did he do? Sorry, but I can't reveal that information. I can tell you it's very rare for a chief warder to be relieved of his post. Why wouldn't Mrs. Vigil know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here. I wouldn't care anything about that, I'm afraid. Just imagine a better Scottish accent than my, neutral Canadian. Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal? And what would that be, Hen? That last execution Mr. Vigil was responsible for overseeing. Was it by any chance the professor's? My thoughts exactly. I'm sorry. I really am. But I'm at no liberty to answer that. I see. My father came to Britain all those years ago in order to study forensic medicine. But you seem to have been well acquainted. The dead room, the prison, and the cemetery have a lot to do with one another. After all, they need fresh corpses for forensic research. Jiken? Yes, I can imagine. The advancement of medical science isn't always particularly palatable. Your father worked in the laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard, in the basement of St. Sinner's. It's still in use today. St. Sinner's. That's come up before, I'm sure. That's right, we've been there. Mikotoba and I oft used to ride in a carriage together and negotiate terms. For more fresh material, I suppose. Aye, and we used to sit in here for hours and gab on about dissection and all sorts. Ah, it takes me back. Or a pot of tea and a plate of cuff biscuits, of course. How charming. He was a good fellow, your father. Reliable and dead set on his work. You know, it wouldn't be actually that hard to make shortbread look like a pair of handcuffs. Irrelevant. Was I planning to make cuff biscuits? Perhaps. But I'm afraid I'll never understand you Japanese. 'Cause of Genshin Asogi, I suppose. I don't think I could make cuff biscuits that small, though. Well. I can't tell you anything else. Thank you so much for your time, Governor. Oh, one moment before you're away, Hen. Sure I have it here somewhere. Ah, found it. Here, take this as a wee souvenir of your visit to the prison. What is it? That's Vigil's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course. Oh my, are you sure? Aye, it's no trouble at all. It's not the original, mind. Wee. Thank you very much, Governor Caden. Well, in return, do me a favor and never come back here. That case is closed. Okay. Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being. So I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Sholmes with what we found out about Mr. Vigil. What will you tell Mrs. Vigil, I wonder? Doop doop doo. Doop doo. We're back. Hello, you two. I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones for us all. Ah, so that's what the delicious... Greetings, my dear fellows! Well, that is, once again, different. It's blue now. He's blue. You've returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Say nothing? Your thoughts are written all over your faces in any case. It turns out that it may have been advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application. Really? I wouldn't have guessed. Oh my. Pray, tell me, what of our warder friend? Have you garnered some new information? Oh, yes. Something very surprising, in fact. Though it's not a patch on your hair, to be honest. Most certainly isn't. But still, we discovered that... Shums! Oh, hi. Hello. What's up? Drop everything, Shums. This is more important. Gina? I can't Adam and even. What's happened? Clearly a very grave matter indeed. For Miss Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever. Ah yes, the hair. That's the deciding factor in whether something's a grave matter or not. It's the boss. What do you mean? Inspector Gregson? The boss is... He's dead. What? They just found his body, shot with a pistol. What? But Inspector Gregson? He was murdered? No, not Greg Z? Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story. If I do breathing like I'm about to cry, I'm gonna make myself cry. That's the only problem. I would be more dramatic in the reading and such, but if I breathe like I'm about to cry, it will make me cry. The inspector's death. Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson was... he was really shot? I don't know much about what happened myself yet. They're still there, investigating the scene. Where did this take place? Little rented room in a building full of flats on Fresno Street. The outskirts of town. Nowhere near his home. He was perhaps investigating a case then. The thing is, no one at the yard knows nothing about no case around there. Oh, how strange. The boss was... he was so good to me. I know I ain't up to much yet, but one day I was gonna show him. I was gonna show him that I've become a proper detective. Oh, Ginny. Alright. Have they found the culprit? Do they have any... So, who did this? Do you have any idea who the culprit is? You didn't know technical difficulty? What? Am I having technical difficulties? What's happening? Or are you having technical difficulties? You're concerning me. They got him already. Already? They've caught the shooter so soon. A witness reported something was going on, and the boys got straight down there and took care of him. Who? What awful person did this? I still can't believe it myself. Gina? It was the Reaper. Okay! Wait a minute, you don't mean... They've arrested Lord Van Zykes for it? That's right. That Reaper bloke's gone and shot the boss. No! Lord Van Zykes? Alright. Plot twist. I don't think Van Zykes actually did it. Frankly. Because he doesn't seem like the type, let's be frank. Are you quite sure, Miss Lestrade? It's Baroque Van Zykes that the police have arrested. I saw him with my own eyes, in the interview room at the yard. I don't believe it. But there were witnesses, and they're all saying it was him. So you mean there were actually multiple witnesses? They heard the gunshot, apparently. And when our lot got to the scene, there was only the boss and that Reaper bloke in the room. There's no way Lord Van Zykes would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it either. Thank you for informing us, Miss Lestrade. This really is most terrible news. Dreadfully sorry. What are you saying sorry for? You didn't do nothing. Well, anyway, I'm taking a cab over to the scene right now. Please, come and all, as soon as you can. You gotta help. It's a detective's lot to appear wherever some sinister plot has unfolded. Little wonder we all look haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves. Mr. Sholmes? What use is there in being a great detective if I fail to see something like this coming, How could I let this happen to Gregson? To Gregson! Mr. Naruhodo, I shall leave at once to begin my investigations. Of course, yes, we will too. Would be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you were intending to do so anyway. Until later, then. Inspector Gregson dead, and Lord Van Zykes arrested. Runo, Susie, I've called you a hansom. It's waiting outside. Thanks, Iris. Shall we, Miss Susata? Yes. A new location. Doo-doo. Well, Sholmes asked us to go to the prison and talk to Van Zykes, so let's go to the prison and talk to Van Zykes. Whoop, whoop. Yes, I have. I played all the games, well, not all the games. I did not play Investigations. I mean, I figured with, I don't know, the prosecutor being accused of murder. There he is, Lord Van Zyk's behind bars. So it's true, he really was arrested. Arrested. I can pronounce my O's. Sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. Lord Van Zyk's? Hi, hello. Fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I'd like to be, with the last person on Earth I'd like to see. Couldn't very well not come. We heard what happened, that Inspector Gregson was... Go home. This has nothing to do with you. But... Forgive me, Lord Van Zyk's, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We're indebted to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth about his death. Must help us with our investigations, please. There's really nothing I can tell you. What were you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was it something related to the case? This? The art isn't quite so cavalier with its information as to share case details with a suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance. Oh, who might that be? Someone you know, as it happens. Albert Harebrain. Of course, yes. I keep forgetting they went to the same university. And I would like to read my correspondence in peace. So let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know? Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Van Zyk's never minces his words. They seem to have less bite than usual somehow. Good gosh, is it possibly because he's in a jail cell? So, what happened? Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Van Zyk's? What happened? How much do you already know? We know the inspector was shot dead in a small rented room on Fresno Street. That you were found there by the police when they arrived on the scene and immediately arrested. We were told there was nobody else in the room and that some witnesses heard the gunshot. Then you're well informed. And there's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself. But the gunshot. Obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you? I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. I also heard the noise, however. Before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers. So he doesn't actually know what happened. If I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with? I don't need to answer that. Oh. After all, you're not representing me. He is going to need a lawyer, though. I'm going to find out about Professor Harebrain's letter first. After the trial, Professor Harebrain was supposed to go straight back to Germany. I thought, it's a letter to inform me of his safe arrival at home. I arranged his passage by sea and rail. It's a relief, I must say. He should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper. Because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean? Yes. So it seems. Your stooped little Nipponese friend, for example. You told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day. Yes, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo. So Professor Hairbrain is safely back in Germany now. He is. Alright, so do you have a defense arranged? Probably not. Who's going to be representing you in court, Lord Van Zykes? Anyone other than you, I should imagine. Alright, he doesn't like me. Would I be right in assuming that you have no representation as yet? Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know. But this is different. In my career, of all the defendants I've prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now. Surely not. I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole. But you didn't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths, did you? It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, seems things may come to a head before I have the chance to uncover the truth about that. What does he mean by that? So, it appears our conversation is run dry. There was a 2-second silence, that's all. Well, in any event, if you'll excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you. I was wondering, Lord Van Zykes, if you'd like, I'd be happy to advocate for you. You trust me, do you? Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people. So I'm quite sure that you would never have taken another's life. It's just, my feelings can't be used as evidence in a court of law, sadly. It's a very gracious offer. However, I trust no one. What? Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you Niponese. But please. I have no intention of engaging your services. The chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems. I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. Oh, come on. We're friends, aren't we? I shouldn't say that. We're not friends. He doesn't like us. Then neither of us will waste any more time. Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper. Find out more about Lord Van Zykes and what happened to Inspector Gregson. Well, crime scene time then, I guess. Room on Fresno Street. This really is an out-of-the-way part of London. I doubt many people find their way down this back street. So this dust-ridden rented old room is where it happened then. So this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life. Yes, and the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems. I don't see Mr. Sholmes anywhere, though. Perhaps his investigations have taken him elsewhere. Hey, what do you think you're doing here? Doing there? Every one of them drawers has got to be taken right out so you can look underneath and all. Let the space above the ceiling checked, and don't forget to look inside the chimney stack, too. Blimey, ain't you lot never gone over a house looking for dough when the owners are out of town? Gina's obviously got some unique investigative techniques she wants everyone to adopt. Hi! Oh, so you've turned up at last. Mind you, I ain't been here long myself. Hello again, Gina. Sholmes has only just left. You're lucky you missed that. He went prancing about in here, pointing at stuff and flicking that hat of his, and then just scarpered. Oh, he's finished investigating already, you mean? Yeah, he didn't stop to say nothing to no one. Not even me. Gina, would you mind if we investigated too? Listen, Otto. You're a lawyer, right? Yes? Why? Well, you're not thinking of trying to help that Reaper bloke, are you? Oh! Poor Gina. She's never going to forget, is she? That trial will haunt her forever. Gina, if you don't mind me saying, if Lord Van Zykes really is responsible for this crime, he will be duly and fairly judged in court. I suppose you're right, yeah. Go on then, Otto. Get investigating. Isn't she nice? She's so polite. I want to know the truth about what really happened here. Thank you, Gina. Let's chat with you first, and then we'll look around. What was Inspector Gregson doing here in the first place? That's what I want to know. It was, what, half a year since I got out of the clink? That's when I decided to give up me diving and become a detective instead. Ah, yeah, Mr. Sholmes twisted the inspector's arm to take you on as an apprentice, didn't he? Somewhat like that, I think. Anyway, the point is, I didn't really know much about the boss till then. Turns out, he's a bit of a legend at the yard. Something stories. Look at this, really? They say he managed to solve some really tricky case just like that. He did? Yep. And ever since then, he's started going out on all sorts of investigations, but always on his own. No one else at the yard even knows what half the cases he's working on are, apparently. That's not how it's supposed to work, is it? So what was the legendary inspector doing in a dingy little room like this? I know he had a lot of respect for the Reaper and all, and look where that landed him. Respect for the Reaper? In what way? I heard him say as much. I take my hat off to the fellow, were his words. Not how the general public feels, is it? Most people are terrified of the Reaper. Yeah, boss said that's exactly why he respected the bloke. Didn't realize Gregson held the Reaper in quite such high regard. He said something else to me and all. I didn't need to worry about the Reaper, because he only goes after people what are bad. Did kinda set my mind at ease when he said that. Right. The crime scene. What is this place, then? Does anyone live here? Apparently it's being rented by some cove called Hugh Boone. Hugh Boone. It's a sort of here today, gone tomorrow name that, isn't it? Yeah, he's what we call an unidentified person. We haven't been able to get in touch with him. See, well, judging from appearances, have to say this place hasn't been lived in for a long time, if ever. Right? All the lads from the yard piled down to get stuck into the investigation. There's so little here, no one knew what to do with themselves. I do wonder. Yes, Mr. Sato? Well, could it be that this Hugh Boone is in fact Inspector Gregson himself? What? How could that be? Well, if he was investigating on his own, it's quite possible that this was in fact some kind of secret office of his. I'd never even considered that. Nice work, Suze. We're actually following a line of inquiry like that ourselves. You are? If you look around the room, you'll see there's a few things that hint at it. Should really investigate this place in detail. See, that's where the poor inspector was found, over there. Yeah, that's right. They said it was a single bullet what did it in. Apparently the bullet went right through him and struck that candle tree on the wall. It's blown one of the candles apart completely. The gun used is there on the floor. It's the Reaper's, isn't it? No denying that. What, really? How do you know that? Take it easy. I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me with them big wide eyes. Quit staring at me with them big ol' eyes. I'm only saying what I've heard. Don't know much about guns myself. There's some bigwig lawman or whatever who said so. Why don't you ask him? Bigwig lawman, is it? Anyway, Fresno Street runs along under that window there. There were some street sellers just outside who heard the gunshot. Oh, but I don't recall seeing anybody outside. Yeah, they've all been taken down to the yard for questioning, that's why. Talking about the yard's legendary inspector here, after all. They'll be getting a grillin'. Do you think we might be able to speak with those street sellers ourselves? Doubt it. Lads at the yard will just want to know what you're snooping for, and you'll be up for a grillin' and all. So we can't just interview the witnesses, then. Shame. Alright. I suppose let's look around, then. This looks like some sort of notice board or something. It's absolutely covered in scraps of paper. Huh, Mr. Naruhodo, look! You mean, it's an autopsy report, isn't it? And these are case notes here, and details of prison inmates. In fact, they're all the sort of documents that only a detective could normally acquire. What on earth went on in this room? Conspiracy theories. Some old newspaper cuttings. Oh, and this one here. Oh yes, the advertisement, you mean. To the Red-Headed League. But why? What's that doing here? Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested in it for some reason. Oh, it's a photograph stand. Suppose it must be a picture of one of Inspector Gregson's family members. It's not, is it? What's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out of your head. They are, look! Mr. Naruhodo, quickly! Why do I feel like this woman is familiar somehow? Of course she's familiar. We met her only this morning. It's Mrs. Vigil. This makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Mrs. Vigil in here? To be frank, I don't think I've ever been more stumped. Sorry to say, I have no idea either. Well, an empty fireplace makes a room feel even colder than it would be otherwise, doesn't it? It's thick with dust, look. I think it would be fair to say it hasn't been used in a very long time. In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy in cold weather. Or nobody lived here at all and merely visited when the occasion arose. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely. No, that's right. It's one or the other. Oh, I can't look at the door. I can't inspect the door. Why can't I inspect the door? This is Dowses. Ever since we came in here, I can't take my eyes off this thing. Oh, funnily enough, neither can I. It's a hairpiece, isn't it? It is! A bright red hairpiece. So the Red-Headed League is involved with the... I suppose the fact it's right there next to where the body was found means we have to expect that Inspector Gregson wore wigs, doesn't it? And in such a flame-colored red, too. That's a color we've come across very recently elsewhere, isn't it? Exactly. This is a vital clue, I'm sure of it. What's this? Would appear to be a little model policeman. It's rather charming in a way. Seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson? It's a little hard to imagine Lord Van Zyk's playing with something like this. It's only about 8 centimeters tall. Could have fallen out of someone's pocket, I suppose. I think we should record it as evidence, just in case. Yes, I agree. It is rather delightful, after all, in a way. The top of one of the candles in this holder has been completely blown off. There's wax spattered on the wall behind, look. Suppose if a bullet had hit it. It does seem likely that the bullet hit the candle, having first passed through the inspector's body. Ugh, now that wax on the wall looks like blood to me. Let's look at a gun. Wow. This is presumably the murder weapon, then. Oh my. It is real, I suppose. I think so? Guns are so rare in Japan, I really know very little about them. There's one way to know for sure, Mr. Naruhodo. Fire a shot! I will not. Thank you. No. If I did that, I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. Slightly safer just to ask someone who might know, I think. It's a gun. Wow. Excuse me? Sorry, sir. Can't see a thing, sir. Too many tears, sir. Right, perhaps I'd better leave you to your work, then. Excuse me. If you're looking down on us from the great beyond, Inspector, don't worry. We'll look after things at the yard. I've interrupted some deep thoughts there. Yellow. Excuse me. Oh, Inspector. Oh, sir. Poor man. He can't possibly be able to focus on investigating when he's so upset. Alright, the police are all upsetty spaghetti. Somebody's very haphazardly nailed those boards over the broken glass, have they? Couldn't even really call it a window anymore. Well, if you remember the window in Mr. Natsume's room that was totally blocked up with bricks, this one does at least still let in some light, so you could say nothing more about it. I'm starting to feel even more sorry for Mr. Natsume now. Alright, I have inspected everything in the room. Oh wait, No, I haven't quite inspected everything. There's a body outline. I forgot about that. Boop. So I suppose this is where the victim... That's right, the rope is laid around the body to show exactly how it was found. Poor Inspector Gregson himself has already been taken away. Would probably be under Dr. Scythe's scalpel by now, if not for what happened last week. From the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in a ball. Are you feeling all right, Mr. Naruhodo? You look like you've just seen a ghost. I know it's just a rope, but, well, conjures up quite a terrifying image, that's all. Especially with that blood stain next to it. Oh, I do understand. In some ways, what we picture in our minds can be even worse than reality. Susato-san is so strong, though. She's taking this far better than I am. The "I don't believe we've visited this place for quite some time" indicator of where you're supposed to go. You've made good time. I took an express train back to London. Can hear Lord Strongheart, can you? Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone. Is everything in place? I had a private compartment on the train so I could check all the paperwork. It's... Kazuma-sama? Oh, so he kept both swords. I see. Ah, your timing is impeccable. It is? No doubt you have heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest devilry. Yes. I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Strongheart. That Lord Van Zykes could have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson. I believe only in the facts. And the facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable accusal of Lord Van Zykes for this crime. We must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective. Oh no, surely not. It's a truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow, the Forensic Science Symposium finally begins. At the very least, though, we can show the world our justice system's swift and equitable processes. So does that mean the trial is tomorrow? Precisely. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions. Kazuma? Ah, but of course you're already acquainted, aren't you? Mr. Asogi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings. Leading the prosecution. Wait, what? Kazuma? As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law. He's also very capable on the other side of it, which is what I was expecting. But, you know, Kazuma-sama, a prosecutor? Well, let's chat it. I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no, people all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds. There's no salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper of the Bailey, and now the Reaper himself must stand in the dock. Quite so. The public want answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths. But Lord Van Zykes firmly denies any involvement in such matters. And there have been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent. That's certainly true. Or it has been, at least, until now. No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history. So, Cosimo will be prosecuting tomorrow. That's right. But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart. Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. Imagine what it will mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree? Absolutely. No doubt at all that Cosimo will be razor sharp as a prosecutor. But why Cosimo-sama? There are surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain. It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to the trial. You asked for this? But why? It'll all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? Although the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation. I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. Seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact. You are quite right, Miss Mikitoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as the judiciary closing ranks. So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution. Ryunosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed after practicing law in this land for so many months. Cosmo, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't going to end well, my friend. Oh yes, we noticed there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if it belongs to Lord Van Zykes? That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene. Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask somebody higher up who might know. That's right, Mr. Naruhodo. Be direct. Certainly a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, and as I'm sure you can imagine. In that case, it could actually have belonged to the victim. No, Gregson had his gun on his person. What about Lord Van Zykes? He claims it's currently not in his possession. What? According to his story, he lost it. In short, it's more than a little suspicious. Just because the gun in question is the same type as the defendant's, it's no proof it's actually his. No, of course not. Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Van Zykes. Grave indeed. Buddy! Friend! I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be alright now. Has your memory completely returned? Yes, completely. I remember everything. Including what I was coming here to do. Right. Kazuma-sama, can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia? It was the voice. This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over. Go to London. That's where your destiny awaits. It was that voice that guided me here to London. I'm so sorry for what's happened. Anyway, my memory might have returned to me, but there's something that won't return to the way it was before. Huh? What do you mean? I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon. Doesn't look like we're going to glean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart. Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our Empire's history. There's much more you could learn from the public gallery. Well, isn't he nice? Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Before you go, Ryunosuke. Oh, what is it, Kazuma? I just wanted to thank you. Kazuma-sama, what? You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection. You always were intent on studying British law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you. Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here. Oh. I actually have a favor to ask. Which is? This trial I'll be prosecuting tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me, as the defense counsel. Why? What's this all about? I know you have what it takes. But Lord Van Zykes would never put his fate in my hands. On the contrary, he recognizes your talent. He does? It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this. That's Lord Van Zykes and Inspector Gregson. In a photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the look of it. And who's the third person? It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office. In Gregson's office, you mean? Yes. What I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view. Take it. Gregson's photograph has been entered into the court record. I don't understand. Why are you giving me this? Just hurry, Ryunosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over. What are you doing, Kazuma? Suppose we're going back to the prison. Whee! Lord Van Zykes is still reading that letter. We've been gone quite some time, though. Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. I might even be able to read English faster than he can. I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear to such an insulting Nipponese. Oh, sorry. Didn't think you'd hear that. I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time. We heard that your trial is set for tomorrow. Which is none of your business. So, have you found a lawyer? How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This is nothing to do with you. In other words, no. We were just talking to Lord Strongheart, and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided. I'd expect nothing less. I have no idea who it is. It's going to be Kazuma Asogi. Asogi? That made the color drain from his face. Well then. Seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all. Well. Asogi! 10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of prosecutions at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse the name Asogi. Genshin Asogi was Kazuma-sama's father. So what cruel twist of fate is this now, 10 years later? Man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court. Words. Still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you. It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset. But what could he have been hoping to achieve? Let's not forget it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Why would Lord Strongheart assign this trial to somebody like that? Asogi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. The bane that is you Nipponese. Right, your hatred of all us Japanese. Well, I'd only just been appointed a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother Clint, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer. The so-called professor. Assigned to the investigation as his partner was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard. And that was Genshin Asogi? Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous to the extreme. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, and any semblance of right prevailing over wrong. Oh, how awful. To avenge my brother, I prosecuted in Asogi's trial. It wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the ascribed prosecutor until he consented. What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor? The man in charge of the professor case inquiry, Lord Miles Strongheart. Wait, what? Lord Strongheart! He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the one person to whom I've felt indebted. Sure, he must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor. Anyway, time passed, but then earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you? And, of all things, as a lawyer, I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. Your obvious deep loathing of us Japanese. I kept telling myself it was illogical. But for so many years, that hatred had festered inside me, and I could no longer control it. And I can understand why, now I know the history. But in the same way that I've long felt the Nipponese to be the bane of my life, to Kazuma Osogi, I am the bane of his, the Reaper who sent his father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in court tomorrow. Inspector Gregson. Tell us about that. Gregson's transfer to the Paris Police Prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month, but he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy. Oh yeah, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he? I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean. It's the first time I've ever encountered it. The Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place. Sounds like that mystery even has the Reaper perplexed. I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We hear that he was considered something of a legend at Scotland Yard. Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself, by uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would never have been made. What sort of approach? After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy. 10 years ago? Why is that so surprising? Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time, and rarely performed. And my brother was of course a noble. That made the idea even more unthinkable. But something Gregson had dug up in his investigation had made him determined it was necessary. His powerful convictions somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result I could avenge my brother's death. So you must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities then. And it's even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life. I don't have confidence in anyone. And I'm sure Gregson felt the same way. I've no doubt he thought of me only as the ominous Reaper, just like the rest of London. What really went on between Lord Van Zykes and Gregson, I wonder? What was the true nature of their relationship? Well, the true nature is indicated by the picture. Probably. About the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene. Ah, yes, that's not mine. Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is. What do you expect me to say to that? Lord Strongheart informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm. As embarrassing as that is, I'm afraid it's true. When did you lose it then? That, I don't know. I was issued with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose. Or left it somewhere, perhaps. You have something in common with Lord Van Zykes after all, Mr. Naruhodo. A talent for misplacing things. No, this has nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into it. Don't make the mistake of associating me with this Nipponese. Oh dear, the rift is very wide, isn't it? So it's not decisive evidence, clearly, but it doesn't look good, that's for sure. Alright. I have a gift for you. Lord Van Zykes, we came by this old photograph. Where did you get that? It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost. Is the man on the left there? Yes, that's my brother. Clint. been updated. Wow. It had to be, really. Apparently, this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know? Were you aware of that? Respect? That's nonsense. No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gina Lestrade, no less. Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you. I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle, an insight into the true nature of this man known to all as the stone-cold Reaper of the Bailey. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, he's being polite! Called me by name! Astonishing. Oh, that's the first time he's ever used my actual name. I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. There's still one thing I'm willing to believe in. What's that? That which you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom? A simple determination to know the truth. Lord Van Zykes. From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago now, I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could. Here is a loathsome Nipponese who has absolute integrity as a lawyer. There are only two other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother, Clint, and Genshin Asogi. The man he idolized, and the man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous way. When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me. You mean this photograph? Back then, I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now. I looked to the future with hope. Since then, I've protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, the mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe. I'm so sorry. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me? Of course I will. Would be an honor. So pleased, Mr. Naruhodo. Then my life is in your hands. As scary a thought as that is, isn't it? For Lord Van Zykes, that must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask. Which is why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow, in the Old Bailey, against my old friend Kazuma. To be continued. So I will be wrapping it up there, and on Monday, we shall go to the Old Bailey and face off against Kazuma in defense of Lord Van Zykes for some reason. All right, I will see everyone on Monday, and hopefully on Monday my Wi-Fi is more cooperative and I don't have that skip jump, reset everything. That was a pain in the neck. Anyway, Monday, hopefully better stream quality. See everyone then.